Hey everyone, welcome to the show.
Great to be here.
So imagine this. What if your consciousness, your actual self, could somehow escape the most unimaginable physical torture?
Right, not just like hallucinating.
No, not hallucinating, but literally journeying through past lives. Lives stretching back thousands of years.
Okay.
What if being completely trapped in the ultimate confinement could actually unlock infinite freedom?
Wow.
And what if the most brutal, grinding pain could reveal the deepest truths about who you are and maybe what the human spirit really is?
That's quite a thought.
It is, isn't it? That profound, kind of unsettling question. That's the pulse, the real electrifying current that drives Jack London's masterful novel, The Star Rover.
Ah, the Star Rover. Fantastic, yeah.
And we're going to be peeling back every single layer of it today. So if you love stories that really challenge how you see things, stories that stick with you long after you finish them,
Which this one definitely does.
or absolutely, then do me a favor and hit that like and subscribe button right now. You really won't want to miss what's coming up.
Okay, so for anyone who hasn't jumped into this one yet, where does it start?
Right, so the Star Rover drops us straight into, well, the grim reality of Folsom Prison. It's 1913.
Not exactly a holiday camp.
Not at all. We meet Darrell Standing. He's actually a former university professor, but now he's on death row for a violent act.
And he's subjected to this horrific thing called the jacket.
Yeah, the jacket.
Yeah.
It's this canvas straitjacket, but they tighten it to just excruciating levels. I mean, it's designed purely to break a person, body, and spirit.
It's hard to even imagine.
It really is. And just a reminder, the Amazon link to grab your own copy, if you haven't read it, is waiting for you in the description below.
But what's really mind-bending is that in this extreme torment, this complete physical lockdown,
Yeah.
Standing discovers this incredible ability. His consciousness just detaches. It leaves the suffering behind.
And goes where?
It allows him to embark on these vivid, totally compelling journeys through what he comes to believe are his past lives. Different people, different eras, different civilizations.
It's such a wild premise. But, trust me when I say this book isn't really just about, like, a fantastical prison escape.
No, not at all. It goes much deeper.
It's a total masterclass in exploring, well, the enduring nature of consciousness, maybe. And it's a brutal meditation on just how resilient the human spirit can be.
It really makes you ask those hard questions.
It does. Like, how far can you push someone before they actually break? And maybe more importantly, what do we become after we've been broken?
Exactly. It's this deep dive into human endurance, but also the, I guess, limitless potential of the mind itself.
Okay, so we've set the scene. Let's really get into it. Let's peel back those layers of what London was trying to say.
Sounds good.
But first, a quick heads up for you, our dedicated listener. From this point on, we are going to be diving deep. Spoilers ahead.
Yeah, lots of spoilers. We'll be getting into the core revelations, the big plot points of the Star Rover.
So if you haven't read it yet and you want that fresh experience, now is definitely your moment to pause. Go read it, journey through it yourself, and then come back.
Okay, so spoiler shields up.
Right. Let's talk about one of the big themes.
Yeah.
This idea of the triumph of spirit over matter.
Yes, and London hammers this home through the sheer horror of the jacket. I mean, Standing describes it in detail, being laced face down. Guards literally pressing their feet into his back to yank the ropes tighter through these eyelets. Like a shoelace, he says, but more severely. It compresses his organs.
It sounds medieval. I mean, the circulation pain he compares it to, like a tight shoe, but all of your body.
Yeah.
Amplified.
And the duration. He mentions enduring it for 24 hours straight, then 100 hours.
100 hours.
And even, astonishingly, 240 hours. That's 10 days and nights trussed up like that.
10 days? Honestly, reading that part, I kind of had to put the book down for a second. 10 minutes in a tight binding is bad enough. What do you think London's goal was, pushing the physical torment that far?
Well, it's brutal, isn't it? But I think London is fundamentally testing the limits. How much can the physical body take before the spirit has to find another way out?
An escape valve.
Precisely. And the paradox here, the really fascinating thing, is how this absolute torture becomes the very trigger, the catalyst for Standing's star roving.
Right. He learns that trick, as he calls it, from another inmate, Ed Morrell.
Yeah, Morrell teaches him to essentially will his body to die, piece by piece, to consciously detach from it.
So it's like a form of self-hypnosis, almost. He forces his mind to ignore the pain, lets his consciousness expand beyond the prison walls.
He literally wills his toes to die, then his feet, his legs. He says his body is dropping out of the game a chunk at a time, but his consciousness, That remains.
Which leads him to that core belief, doesn't it? That line, matter is the only illusion. It is life that is the reality and the mystery.
Exactly. And that's where London really digs into the philosophy. Standing starts seeing life itself as this thread of fire, something that persists through all the different forms matter takes.
He insists he can't actually die.
Right, because he sees himself as immortal in a way, a growth, he calls it, made up of countless past lives. His argument is basically that spirit is memory.
Spirit is memory. Wow.
Yeah.
That's a heavy idea. If we carry all our past lives inside us, like Standing believes, what does that mean for who we are right now?
That's the million-dollar question London poses, isn't it? Our instincts, our gut feelings, those deep fears or sudden passions, are they just echoes, leftovers from previous selves?
It definitely makes you wonder about free will, too.
Yeah.
Are we just playing out old scripts, ancient patterns? Or does having all that accumulated memory give us some kind of unique insight for the present?
London really pushes that boundary. You know, questioning if our instincts are just old survival tricks bubbling up or maybe unresolved stuff from way back when. It kind of blurs the line between me and this vast collective human story.
Suggesting we're more than just individuals, maybe. Like talking libraries of history.
Sort of, yeah. And London uses Darrell Standing's whole journey to explore this. He's not your typical rough-and-tumble London hero, at least not initially.
No, he's a former academic, professor of agronomy, of all things.
Yeah.
He apparently did a well-known corn demonstration at Wistar, wrote a handbook on farm management, calls himself a pacifist.
But prison changes him profoundly. He admits it himself. It makes him hard, fills him with bitterness and a passionate hatred.
Yeah, that transformation is stark.
But it's that intense pressure, that crucible, that unlocks who he really is. Or perhaps who he has been, this man of many lives.
And London uses those lives brilliantly, right? They're not just random adventure stories thrown in.
No, each one feels like it serves a purpose. Exploring different facets of human experience, different historical struggles, but always showing that persistence of the spirit.
The range is incredible. If you had to pick, say, one or two lives that really stand out for you, that capture Standing's journey, which would they be? I was really struck by the very first one he experiences.
Oh, Ushu the Archer. Yeah, the prehistoric man. That one's incredibly powerful.
Why that one for you?
I think because it grounds everything. It shows that spark of ingenuity, of adaptation, learning to domesticate rice. Basically inventing agriculture happening way back in the mists of time. It connects Standing's present struggle to the very dawn of civilization.
That makes sense. Survival and innovation.
And then, jumping way forward, there's Daniel Foss, the castaway.
Ah, yes, the oar.
Exactly. That life is so crucial because it provides the only piece of, well, tangible proof connecting Standing's inner experiences to the outside world.
Right. Foss gets shipwrecked, stranded on some desolate island back in 1809, and he carves his story onto an oar.
And then Standing, in his current life as a professor before prison, actually finds that very oar in the Philadelphia Museum.
It's such a clever device. It validates everything, not just for Standing, but for the reader, too. It bridges that gap between these seemingly unbelievable past life visions and, actual verifiable reality. Makes the whole thing feel possible.
It really anchors the narrative. And another fascinating thread is how he perceives women across these lives.
The woman eternal.
Yes. From his prehistoric jungle mates to queens and noblewomen he encounters, he sees them all as aspects of this universal feminine principle.
Culminating in Dorothy, right, the warden's young daughter.
Jadine's daughter, yeah, only 11. But he sees in her the essence of Sar, Istar, Sheba, Cleopatra, Mary, Brunhilde, even Eve. It's this thread tying humanity together across all time through love and connection.
It adds another layer of depth. But London doesn't just give us Standing's perspective. He introduces Jake Oppenheimer.
Ah, Oppenheimer, the human tiger. Such a great character.
He's Standing's cellmate. They communicate just by tapping knuckles on the wall. And he's the skeptic, isn't he? The scientific counterpoint.
Absolutely. Despite his ferocious nickname, he is described as having these cardinal traits of right humanness, loyalty, bravery, a fierce sense of justice, even if it led to prison killings.
And his mental ability is off the charts.
Astounding. He learns to play chess, beats standing at it purely through visualization, never sees a board, never touches a piece, just mental chess.
Incredible. So, naturally, he's doubtful about Standing's star-roving tales.
Initially, yes. He calls them fairy stories. He applies this law of parsimony, basically Occam's razor demanding hard proof. He even challenges Standing to predict newspaper headlines.
Standard skeptical approach. But then something happens.
The loose tooth incident, it's pivotal. Standing, while he's supposedly unconscious in a jacket coma, describes seeing Oppenheimer in his cell wiggling a loose tooth.
A detail Oppenheimer hadn't told anyone.
Exactly. A tiny, specific, unexplainable detail that Standing couldn't possibly have known through normal means. And that one thing just shatters Oppenheimer's skepticism. It validates Standing's experiences for him.
It's such a powerful, understated moment of proof. And Oppenheimer's views on capital punishment also resonate, don't they?
Very much so. His line, "The worst possible use you can put a man to is to hang him." He sees it as silly, stupid, and unscientific.
It ties back into that larger critique of the brutality of the system, the prison, the jacket.
Yeah.
It's all woven together.
And London's writing itself. His craft really holds this complex story together.
How so?
Well, the whole framing device, for starters, it's Standing writing his jacket memoirs from his death cell. That first-person perspective creates this immediacy, this urgency. You feel the clock ticking.
This is the end of June. In a little while, they will try to befool me. That constant sense of impending doom hangs over everything.
It creates incredible tension, and the style changes so effectively, too.
You mean between the prison scenes and the past lives?
Exactly. The prose describing the prison, the jacket, it's often visceral, stark, almost suffocating you as a reader.
Yeah, claustrophobic.
But then when he star roves, the language becomes expansive, vivid, full of color and action. It creates this intense contrast between the trapped body and the liberated mind.
That contrast is the theme, in a way.
It really is. And the way he pieces together these fragmented lives from different times and places, yet makes them feel like part of one coherent whole that reinforces the main idea, doesn't it?
Yep.
The enduring spirit, the collective human story.
The sheer diversity of settings. Prehistoric camps, Roman galleys, French dueling grounds, Korean courts, pioneer wagons. It shows the universality of it all. Struggle, love, invention, betrayal. It happens everywhere, always.
It's just a masterclass in using narrative structure, that fragmented form, to amplify the core message. You feel the confinement, and then you feel the release.
So ultimately, the Star Rover, it's just this incredibly powerful testament, isn't it?
Yeah.
To the human consciousness, the spirit, being something that just refuses to be extinguished.
Something that transcends the physical, transcends time, transcends even death itself, carrying everything it's learned forward.
It really leaves you questioning the nature of your own self, your own memories. Where do they come from?
It forces you to ask, what actually makes you you? Is it just this one lifetime? Or are we all maybe carrying echoes of countless lives shaping who we are right now in ways we don't even realize?
Well, thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive today.
It was a pleasure. It's a book worth diving into.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, I really want to hear from you listening. For those who've read The Star Rover, what was that one moment, that one past life, or maybe that one philosophical insight that just completely floored you?
Yeah, was it a particular adventure? Like Ushu the Archer or Adam Strang the Swordsman?
Or maybe the validation with Daniel Foss's Or just one of Standing's core ideas about spirit and matter.
Or Oppenheimer's change of heart, perhaps?
Whatever it was, that one thing you just couldn't shake. Drop it in the comments below. Seriously, I'll read every single one, and I'd love to nerd out about it with you.
Please do. Let's get the discussion going.
And hey, if you got any value out of our chat today, if it had sparked something for you, please consider sharing it with just one other person. You know, that friend who's always hunting for their next great, thought-provoking read.
It really is the best way to support the show and keep these conversations happening.
It truly is. Until next time.
May your stories be rich and your reading life even richer. Take care.